Thank you for tuning in to the best parenting show on the internet, Post Daily Dose.
It's the Post. It's the Post. It's the Post. The Post Daily Dose. It's the Post.
Hey, good evening, Facebook La Familia. Welcome to another episode of Post Daily Dose with me, your trusted parenting advisor, faithful guide and servant on the healing journey. What's my name? Big Papa Brian+Post. Hope everyone is doing fantastic on this tremendous Thursday evening. I know you guys have missed me over the last couple days, and that's really the point of tonight's episode. Sometimes you gotta know when to throw in the towel. Now, some of you may think that's like Rocky, Apollo Creed, throwing the towel. I'm quitting, throwing the towel, stop the fight. Nah, I'm just talking about taking care of yourself. And last couple days, I just threw in the towel and said, I gotta chill. I'm feeling tired. And Big Papa doesn't always get tired like that. But when I do, I just emotionally, it's like bam, it just hits me. And I don't want to talk to anyone. I don't want to interact. I don't want to think about a subject. I don't want to answer anyone's questions because I don't want to feel anyone's pain. I just want to, shield myself off and take care of my heart and my mind a little bit and rest. And so that's what I've been doing the last couple of days. And I know Christy came on. It's funny, Christy came on and she must knew that I wasn't on because Marley, our soon-to-be 16-year-old, has been in the hospital. And so that's probably a part of it too for me. When Marley gets sick, some of you know, some of you don't know, Marley is our 16-year-old, soon-to-be 16-year-old. She has spina bifida. And so Marley has had a lot of surgeries over the years. And I have found as a parent that there is nothing that stresses me out more, totally eclipses my window of tolerance, than when Marley is sick and has to be in the hospital. And over the course of 16 years, she's had almost 16, November 24th she's going to be 16 years old. But she's had, I think Christy said 19-something surgeries, and it's crazy. And I went by the hospital last night, and they were putting a PICC line in, so hopefully she gets to go home. She's feeling a little bit better, but she had gotten pretty sick, and that stresses me out, and I know it stresses Christy out. Interestingly enough, just like the day before, Christy decided that Marley needed to go to the emergency room, I had sent her a text. I'm not even sure why. I think maybe she had told me Marley was feeling bad. And I said, I just want to thank you for being such an awesome mom and making it possible for me to go out and continue helping, so many people and sharing the message that I share with so many other families and not having to worry about Marley, our child, being in good hands. So Christy's just the bar none best mom ever. I think she just keeps winning Best Mom of the Year award year after year after year, and just goes through so much and puts herself on the line. So I'm so thankful to her for being able to do that, and it does allow me not to feel completely overwhelmed because that frazzles Big Papa more than anything. And so I think just a combination of that and travel, flying coast to coast traveling is kind of challenging. You don't realize it. I don't always realize it because I'm always go, 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 go. And then sometimes it just catches me. And so I don't normally get weekends like normal people do. I don't just take Saturday and Sundays off, even though I'm not always doing a Post Daily Dose. Usually I'm working, either working with a family or doing consultations or writing or having to travel. And so over time, it kind of weighs on me. But so yeah, that's all. Last couple of days, just kind of emotionally chilling out for a little bit and tuning in, checking in, making sure Marley's okay, which just helps me be more available to you guys. But that's the thing, even for you as parents, sometimes you've got to know. And I've talked to you about self-care before. And it's really unfortunate that we even have to talk about self-care. Like we don't understand the importance just of ourselves, how important you are. Like you are so important. You are the linchpin to your entire family. And if you don't make the time to take care of yourself, if you don't make the time to do things that fill you up, that replenish you, that restore your cellular experience and make you feel, like a whole individuated individual. It's going to affect everyone else around you. And so I know for those of you who have lots of children, a lot of times you don't, and even maybe if you have one child and you could be a single parent, you just feel like there's not a lot of time for you. And the thing is, you got to make that time. So you've got to make that time important. If you had a doctor's appointment, you'd make the time to be at that doctor's appointment. So being at that doctor's appointment is certainly no more important than you making the time to care for yourself and nurture yourself when you need to, because that just makes it strong. It just makes you stronger for everyone else. And so I really want to, what's the word? There's a word for that I really want to make that important to you all. I really want to, gosh, the word just went right out of my head. I just want to make that important. Look in the mirror and tell yourself. And I think it's been a minute since I looked in the mirror and looked in my eyes and said, I love you. I do that pretty regularly. I haven't done that in a while. So look in the mirror and look deep into your eyes and get quiet and just say, I love you. And you are good enough. And, be that person in your own life. You're always doing it for your children, or you're doing it for your spouse or your partner. Be that person in your own life that champions you, that just builds you up, and make sure that you are just living your best possible life. And Heidi says, that's if your kids aren't causing chaos. Hey, thanks, Jill. Happy Halloween to you too. Sometimes it's literally not possible. And see, I just don't believe that's true. And the reason I know that's not true, Heidi, is because your kids are going to sleep at some point. And when your kids are sleeping, that's when you can take care of yourself. You really can make the time. There are times when your kids are watching TV, or they're hey Mimi, or they're on their electronics, or they're doing whatever. They're outside, and you can make the time for you. And here's the thing. If you as a parent can't make time to take care of yourself, then you end up being a martyr. And when you end up being a martyr, ultimately you end up being victimized by your children. So you're saying that your children are taking away all of the possibility for you to nurture yourself. And when you're putting them in that position, ultimately you're making them perpetrators in your life, which is just reinforcing that negative feedback loop. You have to make it important enough. It has to be important enough to you to make it possible. Don't allow excuses. We're so fast to allow excuses in our lives in all levels, and I could go into that, in so many different ways. Don't allow excuses to prevent you from nurturing yourself. And the reason you don't nurture yourself is that's a childhood imprint. A childhood imprint that says you are not important enough. And so, see there, Heidi, just in your own bed. You can do that in your own bed. There's an imprint that says you're not important. And you've got to change that imprint, because if you can't change that imprint for yourself, it's going to be really hard for you to change that imprint for your children. So pretty soon, not only are you not feeling like you're enough, but your children feel like they're not enough, or they're not good enough, or they're going to be abandoned, or they're going to be rejected. And you can end up creating that same dynamic by sacrificing yourself to the point that you don't make time to take care of yourself. When you're exhausted, you're not giving your children anything anyway. Let's just get real about that. When you're exhausted and you're stressed out and overwhelmed, and you think that you're, being the best parent because you're showing up and you're going through the routine, you're not emotionally there. You are emotionally gone. You are physically there. And you know what a child, especially adopted and foster children with trauma histories, you know what they experience when you're physically there but you're not emotionally there? They experience abandonment. And you know what that causes? It causes stress. You know what stress causes? Negative behaviors. So it's really important that you make that time, because if you don't, you're actually feeding that flame of negativity and that flame of stress that you're working so hard to try to avoid and prevent. So taking care of yourself is critical, because if you don't take care of yourself, no one else is going to. You can't expect your children to take care of you. You've got to take care of yourself. and you've got to make that important. And by making it important, you also create a message and an imprint and a story for them to learn how to take care of themselves also. So I hope that's helpful for you guys. So every now and then, I might just not show up. And, you know, it's great that I'm not sponsored by some big car dealership or clothing line or supplement line, because they would be like, you know, Oprah can't just one day not show up to work, but Big Papa can, so it's all good. So it will never be for very long, just a day, maybe 2 days here and there. As you guys know, we're going on, this is like number 325 that I've documented, so we're getting close to doing this thing together for almost a full year of episodes, and just have big plans for so much more. And so happy Halloween to you guys who celebrate. Eat a lot of candy, you know, just make your teeth fall out, and, you know, go scare some little kid and make him cry, and, you know, laugh about it, and then of course comfort them. So anyway, all right guys, that's it. Remember, in any given situation, we always have two choices. We can continue to react from our same imprints of stress, fear, and overwhelm, or we can stop, we can slow down, take 3 to 10 deep breaths, and we can choose love. And I really want to encourage you, if you didn't get a chance to watch my episode, the recording I did this past Saturday in New York at the Culinary Institute of America, you should watch it. I think it was pretty good. It was pretty passionate. I felt like I was getting a spiritual download through some of that. And there was a real part there with a mom that I wasn't able to get on film, but I think you can still hear it. If you can't hear it, let me know. And I want to thank you guys for continuing to send in your questions. Christy is like my turbo in the back. You know, I'm like the body of the car. She's like the turbo engine. And so she handles all of those questions, and she'll send them to me, and occasionally I'll see one and I'll read it and I'll respond, but a lot of times she just sends it to me. So when she's taking care of Marley and kind of in the trenches with the family, she's not able to get to them, but we'll get to you, so don't worry, and I'll answer as many as I possibly can. And you guys don't forget, there's always the Lovevolution. Make sure you get the book. I mean, we have so many resources. Make sure you go to the Post+Institute to continue to be able to support you and help you get through the challenges that you may be facing. All right, guys, have a good evening. Big Papa loves you. God bless each and every one of you. We'll talk to you tomorrow.